Hello YouTube, thank you again for tuning into my channel, Dave Frost. Today I have another figure review for you guys this evening. According to the time of this recording, that is. Anyways, this is the figure review of the Transformers Combiner Wars figure Dead End. He's a Decepticon and also, more specifically, a Stunticon. So, this is the front of the box. And you can see up here, comic book included. And that is the vehicle mode or alt mode of the figure. Transformer logo on the side, and this mark right here and lets you know and marks the fact that the Combiner Wars is a part of the Transformers Generations toy line. Now, right side of the box has the complete combined form of Menasor, or just the upper half of his combination form of the torso, the chest minion, and the two arms, but the arms and legs are always optional. Lower half is the artwork picture of Menasor, the Combiner Wars logo, and the 2 out of 5 part of the team that Dead End is of. He's the second out of all 5 of these Stunticons that have been released in the Combiner Wars toy line, and the second member of the Menasor Stunticon team. Left side has nothing. And here's the back of the box. Where it again shows Menasor and Dead End being the left arm for this combination formation of Menasor, and all 5 of these Stunticons of the Stunticon team, including Breakdown, Off-Road, Dead End, Dragstrip, and Menasor. Now, as you can tell, here is the vehicle mode, here's the robot mode. Here is the description of Dead End, or at least one description of Dead End, where it says most Decepticons would say the Autobots are doomed. Dead End is the only one who'd say the same about the Decepticons. He's convinced the end of the universe is right around the corner, and he's going out with the blasters blazing. That's partially not true, since according to the picture of the product figure, he does not have guns. He just has a club weapon in the form of an exhaust pipe, which we'll get into more detail later. So that is the box. Here are the instructions, which include 11 steps to transform him from robot to vehicle, and then vehicle back into robot, and then on the back we get the instructions of 11 steps to turn him from robot to arm mode, and then 4 steps from vehicle mode to leg mode. And then here is the comic book that comes with the figure, with much better artwork printing than what they would put on the card. Of course, it'd just be the same printing, just it's a much bigger image to put onto a comic book than onto a card. Because I don't know if you can really spot anything I haven't. He just gets better detail exposure that you would not be able to see so well on a card. But the sad thing about this comic book is that there's nowhere a mention of this Stunticon nor any of the other members of the Stunticon team, nor any mention of the combined form of Menasor. So that's just sad. That it's a comic book with the Stunticon on the cover, but it shows them nowhere within the comic book strips or images, actually. So here's the back, and again, more product photography, and also more information that his name is Dead End. He's a member of the Decepticons, more specifically the Stunticons. He is a scout. He is active, and he is on Cybertron. And the description is partially what is already on the box, but it's kind of changed up, and it is the description on the box, and more so with some minor tweaks here and there throughout. So that is the comic book. Now here is the figure. So this is Dead End in robot form. There, we get better lighting now. And he is a legit figure. Of course, you may notice he gets a chest plate flap that goes over the combiner peg. And he's an all-out awesome Stunticon Decepticon. And we just might as well get into the accessories. So, like I've said before, he gets a club weapon in the form of a exhaust pipe, where you can put him into a position as so, and I'm not holding him anywhere, where he could be showing off his club weapon in the form of a of an exhaust pipe, ready to bash some heads. And that's more the main purpose in weapon form of the exhaust pipe. As you may notice, there is a second peg or handle for the figure to hold it by or with, but it doesn't come off as a particularly good gun, because the end of the pipe goes up, as you see here. So it's not a good interpretation of a gun. And of course, he does get the usual hand gun, foot hand gun weapon. Sorry for my mispronunciation. Where this is the thumb, these are the fingers, and it's already in foot mode. So that would be the heel as well. So what you can do is just fold up the thumb heel part, put it into his hand, and it's a gun. But first gripe of this figure is that putting the hand foot gun into his hands, into his fists, as you can see, is not held properly. That is because this is one part of the peg, and here's the second part, only more so that it fits more properly into the part where he's a leg, and it pegs into his leg form. Same as that being the port for when he's on the arm, and this is the hand. So it's better suited to be the hand and the foot than it is suited to be the gun. Because putting it into his hand, as you can tell, that part does not go into his hand, so it's just really loose. So he cannot hold it in any position that you put him into. Now, the second gripe is that when the arm looks completely straight forward, like this, on the inside, it is not. For the shoulder and the upper arm, or the bicep of the arm, are at one angle, while the rest of it is at a different angle. So it's just all that much more better to have the arms, the lower arms, at a folded angle, thanks to the elbow. But that's another gripe, is that it's not much of an elbow. It's just a hinge with a big gap when you bend the arm. Now, another robot mode gripe that I have is that if you're going to have them in robot mode, you'll always have the legs and the feet going out, because to perfectly balance him, the feet are angled and not completely flat, solid, straight up and down. So that's another gripe. Now, articulation. His head, I think, I'm not really sure. It might be on a ball joint, it might be on a swivel peg, I don't know what it is on. but his head can barely go up, barely go down, can twist and rotate 360 degrees, but not very far with this back hinge bar behind the head. Now, like I said, there is elbow folding. The bicep has a 360 rotation, and the shoulder is at a ball joint. So it can rotate 360 degrees and fold out. Then since this is a deluxe sized figure that can be an arm or a leg, well, not more specifically, can be an arm. There's obvious 360 rotation at the hip, or waists, actually. The waist. Then there's upper thigh rotation, 360 degrees. The hip is at a ball joint, so it can go out and it could go forward and back. Just demonstrating that in case it didn't get on camera. Then there's 360 by thigh rotation. And there's also good knee bending. Proper knee bending. But sadly, since the feet are formed at an angle, that there's no foot rotation or heel angling or anything like that. Accessories put aside, we can bring in the size comparisons. So we'll put dead end here on the left side. And first comparison is with Deluxe Class Fall of Cybertron Swindle. They are obviously both Deluxe Class figures, only Swindle is a little bit taller. So that's with Swindle. Next we have Dark of the Moon Crankcase. And they scale pretty properly since they're both Deluxe Class. And Crankcase is a little bit taller, as you can obviously see. Next, we have Voyager Class Mudflap. Who obviously is taller since he is a Voyager. Last but not least, we have Voyager Class Crumple Zone. Who still obviously is taller for being a Voyager versus a Deluxe. Accidentally, I forgot about one other comparison. Who I'm just taking care of real quick. Rearranging some of his parts. Dragstrip. A fellow Stunticon Decepticon character. So we've gone through the articulation and the size comparisons and the accessories. So now let's transform Dead End into arm mode. So what you want to do, take the hands that are on a, well, of course the hands cannot rotate. I forgot about this in the articulation, is that the hands only fold in due to transformation. So the hands fold in. And obviously go into this form as we go into arm mode. Now here's a combination mode gripe, is that you do this, it goes up for foot mode and down for arm mode, but the thing is, it comes off very loosely and easily, and I'm pretty sure that's only on my figure. I don't know if that's on anyone else's figure. So let's say he's a right arm. So we fold up the chest flap, bring up the roof of the car, and fold all of it back. Fold all of it back to where the front of the vehicle mode was at in the first place to begin with. Now, on the connection peg, at first it may be a bit tricky to get this connector peg out, but obviously you would have to go through with it a few times to loosen it up, so it gets easier throughout. There we go. Now he is in arm mode. And it looks pretty good. Now let's go into foot mode. So what you want to do, and this is the first reason why I enjoy this figure so much, is that the legs can open up like that. It's pretty darn sick, I gotta say. some you'll want the legs folded out and make sure that the waist is backwards. Of course, fold up the connector peg. Another thing that you have to do before folding the rear tires back into regular formation is you fold the arms in, because the back tire flaps fold over those. Now, what I like to do is have the front of the car showing outward like this, and then just tuck in the head and the chest flap into the front of the car. So it looks like this. Then we plug in the ham foot gun, and like I've done with skydive and drag strip, is that I like the connector peg, the foot going out this way, so that the connector peg can act as a knee. Because going the other way, you won't get the same. Your bending is limited. So that's my result of the leg mode. Is that where you get more clearance at bending, it's better support for knee bending. Now here's where it gets easier. You would fold all of this from robot mode. You would fold everything that I have already folded recently into the same position, because it's vehicle mode. So the last bit that we have to do, fold the connector peg in, bring all this down, and you'll see these pegs here on both sides pegging into that slot there and over here. Then bring in the front windshield of the car like so. And there you go. Dead end in a vehicle, in his vehicle form. One thing that I don't really enjoy when going into combination form or even robot form is to get the windshield back. To go backwards, you have openings on the sides right above the rear view mirrors, or side view mirrors, that is. You have a little opening right behind the mirrors where you put your nail underneath the windshield and you fold it back. What I dislike about that is that it has to be done by the nail. Just by that groove. It can't be done anywhere else. One other thing I forgot to mention is that there's a peg here at the right underneath the windshield that goes into that hole. And like I said, there we go. It's vehicle mode. The wheels, you don't have to press down very hard, to get the wheels going properly. Here's where the accessories come in. You have a peg hole, you have a hole insert here, same place on the other side, and you got one at the top right above the back window. So what you can do, and this I have to say is where the second handle comes in. Where it doesn't do so well in robot mode, it does great in vehicle mode. Where it is a good exhaust pipe for extra speed. Kind of like on a motorcycle, how the exhaust pipe is only on one, or the tailpipe that is only on one side and not the other. But if you feel like it, you can get another second exhaust pipe and put it on the other side. So there's real extra speed. And then just take the hand foot gun and put it on top of there. And there he is with all of his accessories. Now, I haven't tested out this theory yet, so I would like to now. So it kind of works where it's a gun turret, but not too greatly. The thumb does not go in between the two guns, and the guns are always like, that's as far as the top of the hand foot gun can fold, so they're always going to be sticking out like that. I don't enjoy that too much, so I just rather this. Now, size comparison. Here we go. So, first off, I want to do the fellow Decepticon drag strip. The fellow teammate. And obviously, drag strip would be much longer due to his vehicle mode. And I do believe that Dead End would be much taller, since Dead End has a roof and Dragstrip does not. He's a more open canopy type of car, because he is a race car, Indy type of race car. So that's Dragstrip. Next we have Combaticon Swindle from Fall of Cybertron. And obviously, as you can tell, Dead End is wider. Well, not really wider. I just stacked Swindle on top of Dead End and they look to be the same. But Dead End is longer, I believe. Yeah, longer. Swindle is higher. Let's bring in Let's bring in Dragstrip. And obviously Dead End seems to be a bit wider. For the most part, I guess. So, going back to the Swindle comparison, speaking of Swindle, I have Transformers Animated Swindle. Sorry about that. He is a bit broken up, so that explains why I couldn't bring him in for robot mode comparison. But anyways, Swindle is obviously higher. I think maybe longer. Excuse me. I don't know, maybe Denon is longer. And I think Denon is also wider. Then we have Dark of the Moon Crankcase. And obviously Crankcase is taller. Higher, actually. Surprisingly, Dead End is wider. I mean, longer. As you can tell. I mean, I'm bringing it in the best I can, and it's obviously the best I can do. That Dead End is longer. And considering the skinniness of Crankcase, Dead End would be wider as well. Now we go into Mudflap. Cybertron Mudflap. And he's obviously longer. Without the crane and without the back cockpit right here. I think he'd be higher. Considering the base of his vehicle form. Without the cockpits. Longer, higher, and I think maybe wider. I don't know, maybe Dead End is wider. Now for Crumple Zone. Sorry if I misnamed him in robot mode comparison. I think I may have gotten his name wrong. I don't remember specifically. But obviously wider, taller, and longer. Seeing that Mudflap, Cybertron Mudflap and Cybertron Crumple Zone are both Voyager class. So, that is all I have for this review. Another thing I favor about this figure is that he has a pretty cool head. And like I said, pretty cool head. And pretty awesome paint detailing on the vehicle mode. I really like that red. And some of the silver on the sides too. But the red overall, it's pretty awesome. Even the golden stripe a little bit too. But as you can see, the mold sandy or clayey stuff in here and all throughout the vehicle. I like that type of look. Gives off a different type of shininess. It's pretty awesome stuff because it comes out pretty smoothly. But that is all I have for Transformers Combiner Wars Stunticon Decepticon Deluxe Class Dead End. So, on that note, I thank you all for watching. Thank you again for tuning in to my channel to watch this video. Please rate by liking, comment, share,